Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. So, there is this title of the second, that it is Decoding the Mystery of Maya. It is actually, the title is in a way not correct, because there is no decoding there. It is we will only say in various ways that it cannot be decoded. And that is the decoding. It is because everything that goes on, it is the verse that is 55th, that says, Avidya Kama Karmadi Pashabandham. That this is Avidya Kama Karma. It is, that is how the cycle seems to run. That there is avidya, means ignorance. Now that ignorance is not static. Because of the ignorance, we lose the awareness of our perfect nature. And instead we get desires. Perfection and desire do not go together. Because desire means I want something, which means I am not perfect. It is. So a perfection precludes the desires. So it is this ignorance, therefore, gives this desires, kama, avidya, kama, desires. And then in the pursuit of those desires, we do various actions. And then they again come back in consolidating this avidya or ignorance. This cycle keeps on, and we don't know how to break this cycle, because this cycle, is like a circular road. It has no beginning, no end as such. It is circular. So, therefore, this Maya has really avidya, kama, karma. This is the effect of it, that you have the ignorance, that ignorance gives rise to desires, and to fulfill those desires, you do the actions. Now these actions, they again leave back their seeds, like the fruits, the seeds come out of it, and many more seeds than one, that one seed gives rise to a plant, but then it does not produce just one seed, it produces many seeds. So again, the same cycle in an intensified way keeps on going. So it is, it is told, therefore, that this is, there is no point in, using very big words, because they just become more confusing. The more description of Maya, it is within Maya, you get caught into it. It is like, they in Texas and this southern part, Midwest part of America, it is very popular, that lasso that they used to, from the horse, they would catch the running cattle. And that knot is very peculiar. That knot is such that as the cattle tries to free, it gets tightened further. So our struggle against Maya is like getting out of that lasso. It is, no, let me know what Maya is and how I am caught in Maya. That makes the Maya grip us stronger. It is the more and more discussion about where the Maya comes from, and how it has effect on me, and who is in Maya, and all such questions. Shankaracharya everywhere has faced these questions, and have skirted them very beautifully. There is no answer to it. Stop talking about these things. There is in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, there is a question comes in his commentary. The person asks, well, tell me that who is in Maya? Shankaracharya gives a reply in a counter question. What are you going to gain by knowing who is in Maya? And the person says, because we have to, overcome Maya, so I need to know who exactly is in Maya. And Shankaracharya again replies, that the one who is in Maya, let that fellow worry about it. Why do you have headache? And this person then says, but I am in Maya. Well, then you know who is in Maya. Why are you asking me? It is, we know it. It is not because all our attempts at discernment, all our, trying to know what is Maya, all this falls within Maya. It is like a person talking in dream. A person is asleep, is not aware of the waking state reality, is talking in sleep. And then it is, even if the person says, I am awake, there was a very nice incident long ago that we were driving, that was in India, and then from one place to another place, we were doing these lectures and then bhajans, and we were a jolly group of 10 people. So at one place, then we slept at night after finishing the program, and next day we had to start very early. We had only one man who was driving, very nice devotee. So I told him, you are the tired one. So, but we have to start tomorrow early morning at 5 a.m. He said, no problem, I will be awake. I will be awake. And he was sleeping right next to me. In a hall, we were many of us sleeping, and then my bed and his bed were close by. So he therefore decided to sleep early. I slept a little later. And then after I was still not fully asleep, I started that some sound is coming from his bed. What is happening? I went closer, and he was saying that he was talking in Marathi, but the English version would be, I am awake, I am awake, I am awake. He was saying that in sleep. He was asleep, and in sleep, in that dream, he was saying, I am awake. Because that thing had been put in his mind, that you have to get up early. So he was in dream repeating again, I am awake. So we had a very hearty laugh next morning. So it is. So in Maya, all this happens, everything. This is we will see what Shankaracharya says about it, but it is the only way to know is by going beyond it. Within it, we will never be able to analyze and know about it. It is there are very beautiful verses about it, that it is so one very famous verse about it is that because we are caught in this. All our ideas about what is the what is and what is not, it is within Maya. It is our being, very knowledgeable person, that is also in Maya. Our all spiritual practices, they are also done in Maya. Uh, so it is, therefore, it is he says, Karyanumeya. This, how would you know this? By seeing the effect. Just to give an analogy, it is just an analogy. That it is, how do you know that there is electricity here or not? Nobody sees electricity, but you see all these appliances, they are working. So by looking at that, you say that you know that the power is there. In India, one funny incident happened when I was there in that shop, that a person from the next shop came and asked this shopkeeper, do you have light? Means he was asking whether there is power there or not. And it was broad daytime, so he showed the fan is running. And this fellow did like, I was asking about light and you are showing fan. Now the point is that the power is there. So it gets expressed through various appliances, various instruments. So that is how Maya also is known through all these, its actions on us. In our life, we see all these contradictions. Swami Vivekananda again and again says, this is Maya. Somebody says, this is my child. How somebody becomes somebody's child has actually no meaning to it. It is how this is my child. Nothing actually has been there that connects to me as such, but my child. It is just ignorance that makes you think I and mine. So Sri Ramakrishna therefore says, I and mine. Here also the same word is used by Shankaracharya. Aham idam mamedam iti maya. That is the, it is this Maya. In Maya, we see that I am this body and try to take, beautify the body, give it all these things, thinking that it is I. And thus one misses the goal, that it is an instrument. You have a body, but you are not body. Just as you have a car, are you the car? No, you don't say my name is Toyota or Mercedes. It is because that may be the name of the car that you are using. So, but with body, it is actually the same thing. But we do not have this awareness that it is something that I use, but I am not that. So what happens? We keep on making our that association with body more and more. So this is the very beautiful verse, 84th verse, that Sharira Poshanarthi San Ya Atmanam Didrikshati Graham Darudhiya Dhritva Nadim Tartun Sagachati. One fellow wanted to cross the river. Now he saw that there is a log of wood going, and so thought that he can take hold of that log of wood that will prevent him from drowning. So caught hold of it. But it was not log of wood, it was crocodile. So how much chance he had of getting to the next shore? Maybe will get in the stomach of the crocodile, that's it. So it is, so that is how if we keep on paying attention only to the body, And we do it, friends, out of because of Maya. We identify with body, the offshoots of body, like children, it is my child. And now why it has some connection with this body, and if this body is I, then that becomes my child. And therefore, in Sanskrit, this nice word is there, tanaya. Means tanaya means from the body. So it is, if they are not the body, how are they my? And but we become so infatuated with that. It is many times I have seen, if the child has achieved some success, the child is not so concerned about it, but the parents, and they keep on telling everybody, oh, my child, I should not boast, but it is, yeah, and all that. Why? Because it is. So this is impossible for us to realize the truth if we, so, so here now he tells that Vyaktanamni, this is 108th verse, telling what is this Maya. Avyaktanamni Paramesha Shakti. This is power inseparable from the divine. The divine is associated always with this power. Avyakta Namni Paramesha Shakti. You cannot show how they are coupled. It is they how God makes Maya. There is no, they are always together. That is the nature of it. It is like a chair, means it has legs. How these legs have come up? Oh, but the chair means there have to be legs there. So it is. So similarly, this Maya and God, one and the same. Sri Ramakrishna was never tired, as it were, of repeating this. Brahma Shakti, they are same. That it is the power and the source of power. They are inseparable. Agni, the fire and its burning power, you cannot separate them. Avyakta namni paramesha shakti anadi avidya trigunatmika para. And this is supreme and has these, it functions with these three gunas. It is a concept that's not very easy to explain in English without using this word guna. It is the guna also means a rope that ties. Guna also means the qualities. Guna has many, many shades of meaning. So it is all these, like sattva, raja, tama, it is, but they are also like the ropes that bind a person. It is a very nice bhajan of Kabir, that Maya Maha Thagini Ham Jane, Tirguna Phas Liye Kar Dole Bole Madhuri Bani. That this Maya cheats, a great cheatress. She has this three ways of catching people and binding them. So it is, and he says here, Karyanumeya Sudhiyaiva Maya. It is Yaya Jagat Sarvam Idam Prasuyate. This is, difficulty in appreciating non-dual Vedanta, if you just catch the word non-dual, it lies here. That our understanding non-dual means there should be no duality. And then how come all this variety? Where from did it come? And that variety is not separate from non-duality. Very difficult thing to appreciate. It is, therefore, it is not one, but non-dual. One means, it is numerical something. Non-dual means beyond enumeration. Numbering is within Maya. What it is said is that beyond that idea of enumeration, there is no one or many there. It is one and many or included in that. This is that is how the world comes. How this one without second became many? No explanation for that. It is called Maya. Maya is just a word to say that it is contradictory but a fact. There is no explanation for that. Our life is caught in contradictions. So this is what is expressed in by the word Maya. Swami Vivekananda in Jnana Yoga book again and again repeats this statement. Maya is not a theory. It is not an explanation. It is a statement of fact that how we are caught up in this contradiction. We are caught up in this contradiction. And do we not sense it? Everybody tries to, get happiness. And what we get is opposite of that, contradiction. We want to live. But what is our living? Going towards a certain death, isn't it? So living and dying, although contradictory in dictionary, in our life they are together. Our living means dying. So it is a very funny situation that we are in. As Sri Ramakrishna mentions, that as our knowledge increases, our ignorance also increases. That is the nature of our knowledge. Do we know? No. It is, therefore, this is a contradiction. And this contradiction in logic means you have to give up the assumption. That is how in logic we proceed when it is one of the ways in mathematics to prove a statement, a theorem. You assume opposite of it and then you arrive at a contradiction. And thus you see that this contradiction has come because of the wrong assumption. So that assumption has to be discarded and its negation therefore gets proved. So here this assumption that I and the world is real, that assumption has to be kicked out. That there is actually no change, but we see the change. That is how this contradiction is. Very difficult to this God idea and how the world is connected to God. So difficult. So it is yaya jagat sarvam idam prasuyate. And then the next verse is quoted most about describing Maya. Sannapya sannapi ubhayatmikano bhinnapya bhinnapi ubhayatmikano sangapya anangapi ubhayatmikano mahadbhuta anirvachaniya rupa. It is, you cannot say it is real or unreal. It is, you cannot say that it is a combination of the two. You cannot say it is in me or not in me. Is it combined with something or non-combined with something? You cannot say even any of those things. So, is it associated with something or non-associated? No. Sangapya sanga. He ubhayatmika no. Neither this or that, nor a combination of these two. That is a very, very strange thing. And we are experiencing it. That is why it is a statement of fact. It is, therefore, we have to strive to overcome that. That it is Maha Adbhuta, Anirvachaniya Rupa. It is Adbhut, means nothing like it. It is a very strange something that is not, cannot be associated or allegorically connected with any of other things that we know. So, we cannot know Maya, but we can go beyond Maya. That is Shuddhadvaya Brahma Vibodha Nashaya. Shuddhadvaya Brahma Vibodha Nasha. That it gets destroyed, gone. Sri Ramakrishna gives a very nice example that somebody, he tells this nice story. Somebody had taken the garb of a scary ghost, one of the children, and then was making everybody get scared, running away from this fellow. But somebody caught that, oh, he is our this fellow. And then everybody laughed, nobody was scared. So that is how once you know, it vanishes. When you can go beyond it, but you cannot know it. So it is Sarpa Brahmo Rajju Vivekato Yatha. It is, this is a well-known example that Shankaracharya gives, that Sarpa Brahmo, that it is the appearance of snake that one gets deluded by. Actually, there is rope. In this treatise, you get the reverse example also, that there is actually a snake and you think that it is rope, and you try to catch it, that it is rope, and then the result will be disastrous, you see. So it is, but here it is that Sarpa Brahmo Rajju Vivekato Yatha. It is as what happens to the snake when you see the rope, the snake vanishes. Do you get the knowledge how the snake came there? Do you get the knowledge whether the snake was poisonous or non-poisonous? All those questions just disappear. It is meaningless that what particular species this snake belonged to. You stop thinking about it when you see the rope. So it is like that. But if you are seeing the snake, all those thoughts keep on making rounds in one's head. That it is, oh, what should I do? That snake is there. It may bite me. I may die. Oh my goodness, looks terrible. It is, yeah. So a non-existent snake, but has so many reactions. Sometimes one dies because of this fear of snake. A non-existent snake can kill somebody. Because most of the snake deaths are not because of the snake bite, but because of the heart attack that one gets by seeing the snake. Oh, now my life is over, and like that. So this is how Maya it is. So it expresses itself like that. This is And then this is a very well-known thing that you do not exactly find, and using the two words used here, it is by Shankaracharya, that these two effects that we experience of Maya, one is Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa, second is Vikshepa Shakti. One is the it covers the job of covering, and then the other job is projection. It covers that which is real and projects that which is unreal. So this is the twofold functions that we experience here. So, and that is how this keeps on happening in one's life. This is, therefore, I said the title, Decoding Maya. Decoding, it is, means we have to realize the truth. There is no understanding about Maya possible. How can you, it is have this understanding of that which is not real or unreal either? You cannot divide it in any particular category. So you cannot really understand it. It is, you cannot build a dam, to harness the water of mirage. It is meaningless, that, okay, let us purify the mirage water. What is the meaning of it? There is no water. No, but we must have water to drink. There is that water there. Let us put a purification plant on that water. It's meaningless, it is neither real nor unreal. No, don't put purification plant there. Do you mean we should be killing ourselves by drinking the impure water? There is no water, my dear. But if we are perceiving it, we cannot overcome that perception. And that is Maya. It is, so therefore, it is, we suffer because of that. We suffer is a fact that everybody, some suffers because he has no money, some suffers because he has lot of money. Both suffer, don't tell me that if there is only those who have no money, they suffer. Those who have lot of it, they also suffer. It is all like that. Somebody suffers because not married. Somebody suffers because married. What to do? It is all both sides. You see, suffering is there, and it gives rise to kama, krodha, lobha. This is 112th verse. That lust, and the lust becomes anger, kama, krodha. That is, because the desires, the kama, Shankaracharya in another place in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter commentary says that saeva kama kechit pratihatasan krodho bhavati, that very kama, when gets obstructed, becomes anger. Like if I throw a tennis ball there on the wall, now it cannot go beyond there, it hits the wall and then comes back to me. That is anger. That it is the desire goes to an object and then gets that obstructed there and thus comes back. That becomes anger. So kama, krodha, lobha, that greed, it increases, the desire keeps on getting aggravated because you don't get, one does not get this understanding because of, again, same Maya, that there is nothing to be obtained there. You think that you should make a more concerted effort to get pleasure out of this. So you again and again keep on making the effort with more and more energy put in it. That is lobha. Yeah, I thought that 1 million will be enough, but that's not the case. Let me try more to get 3 million. So it is nothing like that. Somebody told me during COVID, uh, one he was CEO of some well-known bank, and then he died. And before that, he has written, that I have millions of dollars, but a simple thing I cannot get: air to breathe. The lungs were getting so affected. He has so much money, but even a little air, which is the as such plentifully available outside, you cannot get it. So it is, you make efforts and then lobe, more and more, more and more. So, and then you want to show it. That is called dambha, showiness. Because unless people see it, you do not feel that really you have the acknowledgement of people is important, that he is such a rich man. So you throw parties and try to show how rich you are and how you are richer than the other person and so forth. So it is like that dambha. All these vices, they come into our life because of what? This Maya. That is the expression of Maya that is in our life. It is, therefore, it is actually there. It is, we cannot define it, but it is, its effects are seen in our life. That is the decoding of it. That let us know it, that this is all the sufferings that I have is, in one word, they are put together as Maya. It goes away because not real. So when you see the reality, it all vanishes. So like Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that nice story that a couple had a child got very sick, and during the night it got aggravated, and by very early morning the child breathed its last, and the mother was crying, crying, and the husband had a little sleep, and he also woke up, but he was not crying. The wife got astonished. Our only son died like this, and you don't feel any sadness? What is this? The husband said, before I woke up, I was in a dream. I saw that I had become a king, and I had seven children. And when I woke up, all those seven are gone. So I don't know now for whether I should cry for this one or those seven ones. That is how it is. Yeah. So it is bandha hetu. It says there that is the way that one gets bound by tamas and rajas. It is. So should I stop here and make them ask questions?
It's up to you, Maharaj.
It is up to you. She will give me a long rope, and what she will use it,
There's one question from the chat box coming from Vivekachudamani. Even after realizing the Atman, how does the powerful desire in the form of I am the doer and enjoyer remain? It is because it is not the complete realization and the person still experiences his Atman and Paramatman as separate?
Of course, with realization of the truth, there is no desires possible. As Upanishads tell, here also it is told that yada sarve pramuchyante, this is I am quoting from Kathopanishad, yada sarve pramuchyante kama yesya hridishritaha athamartyo mruto bhavati atra brahma samashnute. That when it is, these are the words, really do not have that exact meaning here, because there is no time space. But since we have to use the language, we are using these words that when all the desires in the mind are gone, then athamartyo mrito bhoti. That is the immortality. That is where the Brahman is. So, therefore, there is no possibility that Sri Ramakrishna has said it so many times that there is no possibility of I am the doer when you get the knowledge. Look at Sri Ramakrishna. Mother does everything. I am an instrument. I am the doer. No, that is the Maya. That is the sign that you have not realized the truth.
There's a question here. Just one moment.
There is in the back, there is somebody is raising hand.
Swamiji, I bow to you for your wisdom and enlightenment on the teachings of Adi Shankaracharya as a practitioner of Kashmiri Shaivism, which originates from Adi Shankaracharya. So for me personally, the path of divinity starts from Aham Brahma Swami to Satchidanand, right?
Please repeat. I am not able to hear the last word.
I said, but based on my humble learning, the journey of attaining divinity starts from Aham Brahma Swami to Satchidanand. So my question for you is for karma yogis like us who are caught up and constrained by Maya, how do you even get to a state of Aham Brahma Swami without embracing duality or Advaita Vedanta?
Well, it is a step-by-step journey. It is, you begin doing the actions, that is called yoga. The yoga means what you understand theoretically and needs to be now put into practice. To bridge this gap is called yoga. So yoga means that, okay, wherever you are, now start from there. Everybody can reach there, but you have to make a start, and start has to be made from where we are. So, okay, at this moment, start this practicing discernment, start doing the actions in the spirit of yoga, and then that truth will start shining forth as one progresses. Yeah, sure. There is no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, please. Yeah.
So, Swamiji, I grew up believing in avatars.
Huh?
I grew up believing in avatars, thus
Yeah.
avatar is Hindu, right? But now my thinking is completely reversed. Now I think God does not intentionally become human being because we are all gods. We are all, everybody is Brahman. But most of us don't realize that. But some of us realize their divinity and they become God, which we should call avatar.
There is a difference in that. It is a very big difference. It is the divine becoming a human for the purpose of teaching without losing any of that divinity. That is called avatar. And that is also, one of the great contributions of Shankaracharya is this also, to try to give a semblance of understanding that how this divine takes the birth. For why? It is to bring this truth to human beings, so that, as it is the saying goes, that God becomes man so that man may become God. So that is called incarnation. Somebody may realize God, that person becomes a Brahmagyani, but that doesn't become an incarnation of God. The two things are different. It is difficult to explain that difference, but it is that a phenomena of God incarnating as human being is a really inexplicable one. But if one attains to this Brahmajnana, almost everybody will have to give up the body. Almost everybody. Sri Ramakrishna tells that maybe for 21 days the body may last, because our bodies which are made, the nervous system that is made to carry the awareness of I and the world, that cannot process this awareness that I am divine. So it is the body, it is like, I give this example just as an analogy, that the wiring in both these buildings, maybe usually it is something like 30 amperes or 40 amperes wires are put. If suddenly 100 ampere current goes into it, they will melt. There are, of course, therefore, the breakers there, that circuit breakers, they will not allow that to happen. So it is getting just this awareness that there is no I, no world, this whole life that I have been holding on, this is all meaningless, false. One will just not be able to withstand that awareness. That is the ordinary Brahmajnani. Ordinary means they are also very, very, very extremely rare. Sri Ramakrishna says there are some who get an authority from God, and he does not call them also as incarnation of God. He says that they are people with some authority, with the wish of the Divine Mother. They continue with their body and teach the humanity. But that is not again the God assuming human form. God assuming human form is very special. The characteristics are there that it is an immaculate birth. It is not the birth through man-woman contact at all. There is, you see right from the childhood that they had the understanding and experiences of being divine. Look at the lives like of Krishna, then Shankaracharya, the lives of, they didn't do any sadhana to realize. Sri Ramakrishna gave a beautiful analogy that there are certain, normally from a fruit, the flower, the fruit comes. But there are some where the fruit is first, the flower follows it. So that is a very different thing. That is incarnation. He says that that is incarnation of God. So it is not matter of belief. Since you believed earlier, the belief vitiates. It comes, it goes. But it is important to this and look into these very special lives, that they are not ordinary people who performed spiritual practice and then became the knowers of Brahman. They came with that knowledge. So that is a big difference. And then right from their childhood, their life doesn't seem to have any other meaning except to impart this knowledge to humanity. So that is a very big difference between the people who realize God and can even keep the body due to the wish of the Divine Mother. Their number is again very, very small. So, but the incarnation, Sri Ramakrishna has given many analogies to explain that. In Bhagavad Gita, it is full, like 4th chapter, 7th chapter, the great description. And Shankara's commentary there is very revealing that what is the incarnation of God. Yeah.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam.
Like faith is something which helps us keep moving. So,
Yeah.
So if for some reason, for a sudden tragic reason, you actually feel like you have lost that faith in the Supreme or God, how do you get that back?
Yeah, it is. This happens with many people that one loses the faith. I have seen some people because of a very tragic incident, and they see that, well, I have been having faith in God, and look what God did. Means there the faith is not in God. The faith that we had was not a faith in God, but the faith that things should happen like that. We were dictators of God. Who was God? I was telling God what should he do. And if the God didn't do what I wanted him to do, naturally I will lose faith. It is like some equipment that you buy, and then if it is not doing the work for which it was bought, then you lose faith in it. You lose the faith in its manufacturer, and so forth. So with God also we lose faith because of this idea that God should dance to my tunes. Naturally, then that God is no God. So we have to see that I have to be in tune with the wish of God, not God according to my wishes. It is so many, they have lost the faith in God. But it is this idea that I cannot run away from God. It is one great Marathi saint says that can an ornament, a jewelry that is made of gold, can it run away from gold? It has no way of running away from gold. It is gold. So we have no way of running away from God, even if we try hard. Somebody was telling me, a very nice gentleman, that when somebody was, I don't believe in God. He said that, look, you are using the word God, isn't it? That shows you are believing. Otherwise, where is this, I don't believe, what is the meaning of that? It is, we believe, we have to purify our belief that if that is the God, that is to be my master. I have to surrender myself to God and the wishes of God. The disasters, they come in everybody's life. Not that only those who accepted God, their lives had disasters and all others escaped. That also is not. So it is not, it doesn't, cut either way. That this world is made like that. There will be these disasters because our expectations were unrealistic. Many times our expectations, they are not realistic expectations. And then we get a jolt. How did it happen? We plan things and hope that plan will succeed. But suddenly something happens, and a disaster comes, and you can't help it. So it was my expectation that the world should run like this. No, it doesn't run according to my wishes. Does it? No. So therefore, one should learn to surrender to that God. You cannot run away from God. If you had lost faith in God, you wouldn't have come here, isn't it? So you will regain it, my dear. Certainly.
One more question. Sure.
Their questions are short, the answer becomes long, What can they do? Okay.
Namaskar, Swami.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much for this enthralling and enlightening talk, both of them. So this question is from the morning session. You mentioned that getting a human birth is very rare, as it is. So I'm wondering if somebody is very worldly after you get a human birth, is very worldly and going after materialistic things and maybe doing lots of mistake, does that human being go back to being an animal or something else in the later birth? So, for example, can somebody who is running after money and doing wrong things become a squirrel in the next birth? And if so,
He should think himself fortunate that he became just squirrel.
yeah. True. And so if that's really the case, then what happens to the Sukshma Sarira and the causal body when
Oh, well, that is a very big question, you know. It is. I will try to answer it as quickly as possible, you know. Somebody said, answer it in nutshell. So one who was saying that in nutshell, I can tell it. I said that it will be a peanut shell, not a coconut shell. So it is, the point is that all the actions that we do, they get microprocessed and stored in subtle body. They are not never stored in gross body. Gross body, you know, is just like a spoon that you use to put food in mouth. The food doesn't stay in spoon. So it is like that. And according to the actions, now your tendencies that build up, they give you the next birth, as Kathopanishad and many other Upanishads describe. Yatha karma, yatha shrutam. As is your awareness and as have been your actions, so one gets the next birth. As you mentioned, that if there are desires for worldly enjoyments, sensual enjoyments, then you should have better become some other animal, you know, where at least you have the chance to fulfill them. It is like if you want to eat a very lot of food, in human body, it is not possible, you know. You get indigestion, you are allergic, it is that, oh my goodness. But suppose you become a pig. Think of that, you know. That is a good body for, you know, eating a lot. I never saw a pig getting indigestion. So it is good, you know, that Swami Vivekananda says that in animal bodies one can enjoy all those things much better than human being can. But human beings, therefore, have been given a very special desire that other animals don't have. That is to transcend this imbecile running after the objects of sense enjoyment. You miss both thereby. You cannot get sense enjoyment because you are not made like an animal for that. You get immediately nauseatic. And you cannot get the knowledge of Brahman because you are not striving for it. So therefore, yes, you may get, therefore, a fit hardware for that kind of software, you know. They have to match, isn't it? So it is, if the software has all these desires put in there, the hardware also should be equal to that, where that functionality of that software could be there. So it is like that, yeah.